Welcome back to the TSC Racing channel. Gary Forbes, your host again, here with Brian Ditty yet again, because he has done something else amazing and miraculous that is worthy of talking about. Only 2 days, or no, 1 day? 2 days after.
2 days, 1 day in between.
Yeah, after the last one that he did. So today we are talking about the Elite Pro Series, which I think is brand new. This is the first time I've seen it, right? So this was maybe race one.
It was the first one, yeah.
Okay. And you can see already tons of people show up for this one. They all put them in the same jerseys. We have no idea who anybody is, with the rare exception of the small handful of Groupama FDJ and I think one Movistar rider who I think got to wear their own jerseys.
Yeah.
So 764 people in this race that I'm seeing on the screen right now. For some weird reason, all cats starting together. Not sure I agree with that. And Brian's starting basically in last place. And,
yes, I did.
Yeah.
Had to make my way up through this one.
Yeah, you had a sordid ordeal getting home and getting in place from what I recall. And, yeah, you are fighting and fighting and fighting. This is nothing but red out of the gate so far, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at the graph. The graph is making me laugh right now because it's just like go, 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 go.
And you're still at 200 something. 220.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you still got a long way to go.
Yeah.
So what do you think here? Is this the way to handle it? I mean, you're doing 400 some watts, but should you have spiked it to 1,000 for 15 seconds and maybe made some progress?
Maybe, but here's the trick. And so I was very late getting into the pen. And by very late, like my heart rate monitor and my shoes weren't on with 45 seconds to go. So I wasn't exactly warmed up. So I don't know that I had 1,000 watts to give right out of the gate, just having thrown my shoes on and barely gotten. I mean, I still had all my jeans and sweatshirt on with 2 minutes before the race. So, but yeah, so this was about the only way for me to work.
Yeah, that might have broken you. This is one hell of a warm up though. Honestly, you haven't dipped below 400 watts yet. We're 2 minutes into this.
Here we are. Okay, now I'm in the top 100. Finally settling. I could see all the main competitions.
Yeah. You made your way to the front. And again, this is a complete violation of everything that I've ever said on this channel. But in races this big, you have to be on the front. There will be gaps. If you're tailing off the back and just dangling and trying to conserve watts, there will be a gap that forms in front of you, and there's nothing that you'll be able to do about it because you will be 500 meters behind the front of the race. So
and it's mixed cat. It's mixed cat. You've got all these categories mixed together. Those A's are going to be at the front eventually. The B's are going to be. So if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, you're going to split. So
yeah, and so you fought your way to the front, and I mean it's eased off, so to speak.
Substantially, yes.
I mean you're not fighting at 400 watts still. It's not red, but this is not an easy race. I mean you're doing 300, and like we're just about to hit this uphill gravel section where it's always hard, regardless of the race. Yeah, and I mean half of your graph is red. And we're only 6 minutes into
it's funny,
race.
because if you look at the graph, the beginning there really tells the story of how the race started. So
and again, I mean, part of that has to be where you were positioned in the gate. I mean, obviously, because you had to.
If I'd have gotten in 30 minutes before and been in the right in the front, it would be totally different. I could have held the draft or whatever, but
it still would be hard. I mean, you'd still have to fight to prevent all of the people doing what you just did from taking your spot up front. So you're still, you might not be pushing quite so many watts to get in front of everybody, but you're still pushing watts to stay up there.
And I would say it kind of did stack up like there was a lot of A's at the front, a lot of B's in the middle, C's and D's goes back. So, I was going through kind of some of those other categories.
Right.
And I would would have obviously preferred to have been right at the front. So
yeah, obviously, but then so would everybody. So that's what.
Right. I mean, they aren't letting down. I mean, I'm still getting. You look at the red spike there. That's even harder in the beginning, and
that whole gravel section back into red. I mean,
we all know that section. That section's so hard.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Yeah, I've been dropping many a race right there.
Right.
And yeah, the hits are just going to keep on coming because you're going to roll straight through over the bridge. And this course is was it Magnificent Eight or
Magnificent Eight? Yeah, Magnificent Eight.
And so this one goes through.
I like how I'm riding in the grass. Right in the grass over
here. Yeah, you got an elbow, man. You got to fight for your position, buddy. But yeah, this is right. Again, we're 9 minutes in. You've done half of the graph. Your graph is red, and you're just about to hit reverse KOM. With some of the best riders in the world. This is not going to be easy. I mean, you're already doing 500 watts. You haven't even hit the steep section yet, and you're not taking the cutoff this time. You're going the whole way through. So this is 3.5 minutes of pain that are about to come in. I mean, you're 700 watts now. Red numbers all around you.
And that's all I'm doing. This race, knowing the competition, who was in it, and how big it was you have to watch the numbers in front of you, and you see it. I mean, a lot of these guys are red. You're seeing hot, 12s, 12 watts a kilo of this thing, and I'm like, I don't want to be that high, but I gotta, stay up there. If I have a shot. So
because this is where the gaps are going to come. I mean, you can actually see it. I mean, the unfortunate part, or maybe it's fortunate because I don't know how they would render it otherwise, is that Zwift only renders the 100 closest riders to you.
Right.
So it looks like a nice compact group, but that's only because you literally are not able to see the carnage that's happening behind you.
I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, if we could see it all, it'd be strung out to the bottom of the hill.
Right. And gaps forming everywhere. But your 100, the 100 front riders, again, are probably, I don't know, 100, all of them are in the top 200 Zwifters in the world. So it's going to be a fight. And you're in the easy part of the climb right now. You're going downhill at almost 400 watts. So it's scrapping and fighting. And I mean, I'm glad that I was unable to attend this race because I don't know that I still would have recovered.
I almost didn't make it. So, we almost weren't shooting this video.
And I mean, I think that might be Laverack off the front. Ed Laverack, who
he's just stretching. I think
he's getting warmed up. He knew he had to make the hill as hard as possible because he's not a sprinter, but he can do this. All day.
He will demolish you doing that all day.
But I mean, the list of names that are just around you in this event are just incredible. Just saw Ollie Jones. You've got all the BL13 guys. There's Listen. I mean, just so many guys.
It's so deep. I mean, I loved looking at the names on the list, and I just kept looking, on the screen of like, oh my gosh, that guy. Oh my gosh, that guy's in here, and there's Davies, and there's all these guys, in here, and you're just like,
and they all want this one. I mean, just I don't see any of the pro guys, the World Tour pro guys at all. Like, you see nothing but red jerseys here. I haven't seen the FDJ jersey since probably the beginning. They might have gotten dropped in that first 2 minutes that you did at 400.
I do. The Movistar guy does make his way up. He's hanging out. He does hang out because I've seen him a couple times.
Okay, and that's I think Matteo Jorgensen, who's an American, like a young guy riding for Movistar. So that's cool to see that he participated in something like this. And I understand that this is going to be a monthly series, I think.
I read that. I read it after the fact.
I had not even heard of this. Again, thanks to Z for giving everybody the heads up here, but none of us knew this was happening. But obviously, it's out there. A lot of these guys knew about it. And they want to win it because you get to say you beat World Tour pros and Zwift pros, or the closest you come to pros on Zwift. But so you fought your way over reverse KOM. Now you get to relax? Question mark,
relax. I mean, there's a little bit of chatter, just in the chat about, random things. Do you see so-and-so? And, good ride here. Good. Yeah. And there's, a little bit of, as we go on, a little bit of smack talk going on, which is always fun. So,
but I mean, so I say relax with a question mark because this race just never let up. I mean, this is supposed to be the easy part. You're going into the desert, and not to spoil it, but we're about to see attack after attack after attack after attack.
And there goes one right now. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. So one goes off the front, 3, 4 go chase them, and then every single person has to respond because you don't want a group of 8, 10, 12, 15 off the front.
If 8 to 10 of these guys get away, it's over.
Right.
It's game over.
And again, it looks compact in the chase group, but chances are there's a 200-person group here or 150-person group here, and you're not seeing the 40 that get dropped off the back every single time one of these little chases happen. So, I mean, we're still a long way from the finish here. You're not even halfway through this race, and you've got 10K through the desert forthcoming. So that's flat and almost impossible to get away, especially from a big chase group like this. But these guys are going to try it. You look at it. We were just talking about Ed Laverack. He is an extremely talented Zwifter and racer, but the dude has just no chance at winning this race because he doesn't have a 15 watt per kilogram for 30-second sprint. He can do probably 6 watts a kilogram for the 8 hours that he's asleep every night, but can't hit 15. So they're going to take chances, and everybody's going to try and manipulate this race to suit themselves. But that one obviously came to nothing. And
the flip side of that is you have a lot of these extremely talented riders that that group just got swallowed up again, and they're gonna try to make sure that doesn't happen. They're smart enough riders to do that, to shut down those gaps. Like, maybe we shouldn't let that go. So people are gonna try, and everybody else is gonna try not to let it go away. Not to let it go. I mean, that's cycling. I mean, let's be honest, that's cycling in a nutshell. So,
well, it's Zwift cycling at least.
That's true.
Outdoor, I suppose it's okay to let a breakaway go away, but this one's not a long race.
Yeah,
still gotta get you using kilometers because the miles thing throws me off, even though I'm an American. But
I know
we're over the halfway.
It's my running background, and I'm sorry. I need to work.
We're over the halfway point. We're making our way through the desert. This is about as settled as this race gets here for the next few minutes. So we'll zip through it and fast forward. I did post the original. So if you want to see all the chatter that's going on here, it's actually pretty entertaining. But right now, not a whole lot happening. Nobody's attacking because I suppose at this point they realize it's relatively fruitless. But then, voila, as soon as I say that,
there he goes.
Rolling off the front. And again, same general idea here. It's 1 or 2 guys, and then a whole bunch of people are going to respond. And this is about as far back as you ever got in this race. You were sitting at like 70th. I mean, the rest of the time it seemed like you were super attentive. You almost looked relaxed there for a second. But you watched these guys
I really wanted
and look at that. You're back in the top 20. So
with that group, I think the ideal spot for me was somewhere around 30th, 30th place ish, just because you can see the attack. When you get too far back, you can't see what's going off the front, and then by the time you see it, it's too late. So I didn't want to get stuck in that position, and but at the same time, it's like I needed some draft there. So
you got to catch your breath at some point. But a couple more guys going off the front, and I start zipping through this again because these guys aren't going anywhere. This one was not it was a concerted effort, but it was only about 4 of them up there.
Yeah.
So this one wasn't really going.
No,
anywhere. I mean, they stay away for a little while, but nobody ever really gave anyone a leash here. You're fighting at almost 300 watts just to stay in your position,
right? To hang out in 30th place,
with 100 of your closest friends. So the power that it would take on Zwift to create a meaningful gap and to keep it would just be astronomical.
Oh yeah.
But those guys, they kept that short gap, and then you see some other people trying to bridge, and that obviously caught your attention. That starts to look dangerous. That's about 10 guys, right?
Yeah, for me, this was the point. This attack in particular looked dangerous because look
at these names and look at the teams. That is WLC, 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 and then BL13 times of 5 or 6. So this is a coordinated thing within a team, probably all communicating on Discord, maybe 2 teams combined even.
Yeah.
And those are some big names with big power numbers. And look at how stretched this thing is on a 0% grade in the middle of the desert. That's nuts for a Zwift race.
Yeah. And I mean, it was one of those that if this is gonna happen and I can get myself into that mix and just be part of that, great. If it's gonna stretch out and I mean, especially like you said, WLC and BL13. I mean, that's teams who have done that before.
Yeah, BL13 are probably most well known right now for having accomplished the single greatest feat of I guess break / team time trial in Zwift history in a recent
mid-race
Legion of LA criterium. They just 6 of them went off the front, they gapped the field and held on to take all 6 of the front spots, but didn't happen this time. Maybe their reputation preceded them a bit too much there because nobody was going to give them.
Everybody saw that. Everyone saw that happen. We're like, maybe we shouldn't let them go.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if it would have had a bigger impact if they did it closer to that little hill there coming out of the desert.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you could have really destroyed some people. You could have just timed it a little bit later.
Yeah, might have been interesting.
They're BL13. They can do what they want.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they got a plethora of strong riders, but it stayed together. My assumption is that still another like 40 or 50 riders probably got tailed off the back though of that little push just to bring that back, because while it was easier than most portions in the race leading up to that, it was still hard, and you had to put in obviously pretty significant red number dig there to bridge that, and that means almost everybody on your wheel was doing similar. So
and a lot in a lot of these races, people are hesitant to get on a wheel or so I'm going to sit in the pack. And I mean, with this race, it was you either get on a wheel or you get left behind.
So this one, during the race, could you see what was going on here and who this is who's flying away from the field? Do you know who's off the front?
Honestly, I scrolled up in companion app. I would have never tried to just shut down a move like that, but I scrolled up just to see who it was. I can't recall who it was off the top of my head.
This is the Jim Rosick.
Yeah.
So this one's close to the finish. This guy
we're not that far.
Yeah, most aggressive rider in Premier Division, week after week after week after week, and he
took his shot. I mean, that was a heck of a shot right there.
Yeah, I mean, look at this gap he's got. He's around the corner. Yeah. He's got 100 meters or something on the whole field.
Well, and if you're looking at my numbers, we're not trying to catch him either. I'm sitting at Tuesday. There's a 300 pop, 350, but we're not hunting like.
We're about to hit a little ramp out of the tunnel, and I'm going to save up for the final sprint. Lull, I guess, calm before the storm, and he takes advantage of it. I mean, he's putting in the effort that you would need to if you're, I don't know what his sprint looks like, but he's clearly an attack early kind of a rider. So he took his shot. I mean, he's either going to win by 5 seconds or he's going to, lose in the middle of the pack sprinting. So
why
not take that shot if you're not?
If you have the strength to hold it, it's it's worth a shot there because you might catch some people off guard. And I mean, it's worth trying if that's your move. If you don't have the sprint, or didn't think that you could finish high, you go for it.
Right. Now, obviously, it was going to come back once you guys hit this hill or start coming back, and then you're sitting in the middle of the pack here. One guy looks like he's trying to bridge across, and if it becomes a group of 2, then obviously that's more problematic. But you've done this finish. Everybody's done this finish.
We've all done this finish
a zillion times.
Yeah.
But I've seen you do this finish, and I know you have a move here. So tell me what's about to happen, or what's happening as it happens here, because we're getting close.
At this point, I'm watching the crowd. I'm watching for names that I know to go to the front, like to make a move. Because my strength is usually in my 1 minute power, as plainly evident, and if anybody's ever seen me race. So usually I wait till about this turn to make a move. But when Ollie Jones shot off the front, he's got a sprint on him. So I knew I had to go. And then
there's Jim Rosa coming back.
Yep. And I catch Ollie right here, and I let off just a little bit, thinking he's gonna, we're gonna, we got a gap. I could see it. You can see it on the map. And at this point, my legs are just on fire. You know, oh my God, I've got this. This is crazy. Like, you know, this is the biggest race ever. And
you like that? I mean, it's only 1 second, but it's staying at 1 second.
It's staying at, and I'm watching it like, oh my God, we're both pushing the same wattage. And then like, it was chaos. Like it was, I didn't even know what to do. Like I just collapsed over my handlebars.
All right, we're gonna watch it one more time.
But I mean, this is the move. This is the move for me. It's usually at the turn, but Ollie went.
Yeah, you just saw his red numbers go exploding through there.
So when you can see, it's almost as soon as I saw his numbers, I was like, well, I know he's got it. I'm going. So I had to commit, and I just kind of went with it. And
and it looks like when you caught him, he almost tried to play it because he clearly had a little bit more in the tank, but it almost looks like he tried to play it where he got behind you and used your draft, and he almost got it.
And he if this race was 2 seconds longer, I'm in 10th place. Like, that's how close.
Maybe worse. You got about 50 guys coming on you. Really
maybe even top 20, and I still would have been ecstatic. Like
I was saying even during the race and before, I was like, hey, you're a great Zwifter, but if you pull top 20 in this field, that's insanely good.
But I mean, like my numbers right now are falling apart because my legs were on fire.
Yeah, well, but this is about the time where our Discord went absolutely bananas.
Never seen it. Never seen anything like it.
I couldn't believe it. I'm sitting in my office and I was watching Laverack's stream as this was happening, and he's in the front group, and I could see that you're in there. But he's not competing in the sprint. He ended up 60-something place. So I had no idea what was happening. But a bunch of the guys were watching you in fan mode. And so I start getting message after message after message after message. And I'm like, okay, what just happened? And then I look, and somebody finally replies to me more than just expletives and says, I'm pretty sure Ditty just won that. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. There's no way. And then, of course, my first reaction, please God, tell me he recorded it. Because I knew it was going to be tight timeline for you. I had no idea whether you even made it into the race.
That's why I didn't have my shoes on until 45 seconds before the start.
Thankfully, you did. Otherwise, I would have been scraping around the internet to find some footage that I could use. But I mean, unbelievable race. That sprint was insane, like absolutely insane.
You know, anyway, once I committed, and like I know I've done that finish. I have made that move where it's a 45-second huge effort, 10 watts a kilo at least, 10 to 12. And I've done it, but against that field, and then to kind of look in the, like you're trying to focus, but at the same time I'm looking at the map and I'm seeing the dots and I'm like, there's a gap there. Like this could work. This could happen, but you got Ollie Jones right behind me. Oh, and that guy's got a huge kick. Like, and when, and then you cross the line, you're like, what just happened? Like,
that's amazing. I mean, truly amazing. That's,
it was mind blowing. Like,
I mean, it's hard to, unless you're winning premier division races, this is about as prestigious as you can get from from the entrants that were there. I mean, it was the quality of the field was premier level. Only it was 800 riders instead of 70. So, I mean, granted, not all 800 were premier level, but it was.
No, but the front pack. I mean, that's the strongest front pack in any race I've ever participated.
Yeah, it was incredible.
It was unbelievable. I loved every second of it. It was awesome.
Yeah, and hey, best race ranking you've ever gotten. No shocker there.
No, it was, but like, just that rush of, and I mean, that's the highest my heart rate been. If you go back and watch my heart rate graph, that was not good. That was way too high.
I mean, for the whole race. So, I mean, those weren't your best numbers you've ever done for a minute.
Not even close.
But to come on the heels of what was such a hard race before that was truly amazing, especially with, the circumstances where you were barely even on your bike before where you got out the gate. Right. So, I mean, really well done, Ned. I'm glad we got a chance to talk about this one. Obviously, just having that video on the channel has done very well because people want to see.
People want to see it. Who is it? Who is this guy?
Yeah, they want to know who the hell is Brian Ditty, and figure out how on earth they let that happen to themselves or how they can do it themselves.
Well, and part of me is like, a lot of those guys do ride Premier League and they know the names, like,
right.
they see somebody like me that's going to shoot off the front. This guy, there's no way. Like, there's no way that this guy's going to go the distance and pull that off.
Jones is up there with you. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. He can do it. But who's this guy? There's no way.
Hey, you've got a little bit of a pedigree, though. You've won some of the bigger Kirkmeyer races here and there, and your ranking was top 50 leading into this. But this one shot you up. Yeah. And now you're sitting at 20th world globally, I think. So
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very impressive stuff. And I can see why, because that was a hell of a sprint. And
I appreciate it.
Yeah, super, super impressive, man.
Yeah, no, it was one of the most just adrenaline pumping finishes I've ever had, you know, because usually when I do that, you know, if I do a move like that on that turn, it's going to be, you know, I'm going to get away. Like, I know I'm going to get away. Like, this was, can I do it? Oh my God, this could actually happen. You know, you see the arch around the corner.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, my numbers were like 9.8, 9.6 dropping because my legs are just toast.
I mean, it's easier to get away and stay away if it's only like 4 people chasing you, but you had still 100 of the best racers on Zwift chasing you. So I mean, again, like just nothing but kudos. Congratulations. Like, seriously, very impressive stuff. But you have set an extremely high bar for yourself for the future. So
now what do I do for race 2? Like this elite
it's going to be something impressive for the encore. So
I'll have to come up with something. I'll see what I do.
Well, anyway, man, thanks for talking through this with us, and glad to have you on the channel again. We'll keep doing this as long as you keep putting up performances like this. And everybody, like, subscribe, share.
For sure.
All the things that you're supposed to do, and we'll keep making some fun stuff like this. So thanks again, Brian.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, man.